in the middle of the vast ocean, where the sky and the sea seem to merge into one. Modern fishing boats of American fishermen still quietly sail out to sea, cutting through the waves day and night. It is not only a journey to find resources from the sea, but also a symbol of the extraordinary labor, the brave spirit and the relentless perseverance of people who live for the sea. And today, our journey will take you to one of the largest and most modern seafood fishing activities in the Alaskan Sea. Where American fishermen are harvesting hundreds of tons of fish every day with giant net systems on ships equipped with state-of-the-art technology. Right from dawn, when the fog still covered the sea, the rumbling sound of engines echoed from the engine compartment. The strong arms of the sailors quickly checked the winch system, trawl nets and all fishing equipment. No one spoke much, because everyone was too familiar with that hurried pace. Everything operated smoothly like a programmed machine. The giant nets, hundreds of meters long, began to be lowered into the sea. Amidst the roaring waves and the strong wind, everyone attentively followed the signal from the modern sonar system, indicating the concentration area of the mackerel fish in the deep sea. Not long after, a strong signal appeared. It was time to not hesitate. All the sailors gathered on the deck, preparing for the net collection stage, one of the most important and arduous stages of the whole trip. Under the enormous pulling force, the heavy nets were slowly lifted from the water, dragging tons of mackerel fish wriggling, shining silver in the early morning sunlight. Cheers echoed throughout the deck, an undisguised expression of joy after so many tense moments of waiting. As soon as the fish are pulled up, the automatic sorting system is put into operation. The fish are passed through the conveyor belt, quickly cleaned. And sorted by size and quality. Each fish, after being bled and gutted, is transferred to the freezing or preliminary processing area right on the ship. This is a special highlight in the U.S. industrial seafood industry, not letting any minute go to waste, and not letting the quality of the product be affected by time. Each ship is a miniature factory, fully equipped with machinery from cutting, washing, vacuuming, quick freezing to packaging. The fish are preserved at extremely low temperatures just a few minutes after leaving the net. From the processing compartment, the smell of fresh fish mixed with the cold air of ice creates an atmosphere that is both urgent and clean. Industrialized while still maintaining manual dexterity, the hands work quickly, cutting each fish slice evenly, neatly arranging them on each stainless steel tray before being pushed into the freezer. Each person has a position, a task, no one rests. Because while the net is still pulling the fish up, the processing system must also operate non-stop. Speed, efficiency and professionalism are things that people can easily feel when standing on these ships. Waves of fish continuously pour into the hold, creating an unforgettable, majestic scene. There are so many fish that they overflow to the edge of the deck, each one wriggling violently, as if fighting its last battle with fate. But for the experienced fishermen on board, this is not the first time they have witnessed such a scene. Everyone's face exudes tension but excitement, a strange combination that can only be found among people living in the middle of the ocean. For many hours, the net pulling, fish collection, classification, processing and freezing take place continuously. No one is allowed to relax. No one has time to sit and rest. The entire ship is like a giant machine operating at maximum capacity. And each sailor is an indispensable cog in that machine. From the bow to the stern, from the upper deck to the cold hold below, everywhere resounds the sound of machinery, the sound of fish hitting the floor, the shouts of coordination of work, and even the laughter that rings out in the brief moments when a large net is successfully pulled in. Amidst the harsh environment and the relentless work rhythm, the only thing that keeps the fishermen steadfast is their team spirit and love for the job. There is no room for hesitation or hesitation. Each person must absolutely trust the person next to them, because just a small mistake in operating the crane or pulling the net can cause a serious accident. The sea never gives way to the careless, but the sea is also ready to bestow worthy rewards on those who are brave and resilient. After nearly half a day of continuous fishing, the cold storage compartment below the ship is almost full. Hundreds of tons of mackerel have been frozen at sub-zero temperatures. Preserving their absolute quality until they reach the port. With modern technology, temperature and humidity control are monitored by an electronic system, ensuring that each batch of fish after being loaded onto the ship is as fresh as if it had just been pulled from the sea. At this time, part of the crew began cleaning and sanitizing the deck. Seawater was sprayed strongly from high-pressure hoses, washing away the remaining fish slime and blood. The space returned to its original cleanliness. Ready for the next catch. Meanwhile, another group took the opportunity to go to the kitchen to have a meal. A simple meal, but enough energy for the next battle. Rice, canned meat, boiled vegetables, a few slices of hot grilled catfish. That was a precious reward after many hours of hard work. But the rest time did not last long. The next school of fish was gradually appearing on the radar screen. Tiny dots moved in a concentrated manner. Signaling a new opportunity. Without anyone telling anyone, everyone returned to their positions, ready for the next round of fishing. That was the rhythm of life in the fishing industry. There was no stopping point. No concept of working according to office hours. There was only the sea, fish, and brave people facing nature to bring value to the country and to their own families. Outside, the wind began to change. The sea surface ripples slightly, signaling an upcoming strong wind. But for experienced captains, this is not too big of a problem. They check the coordinates, adjust the ship's direction, and ensure the ship always maintains balance in changing weather conditions. On the bridge, the captain and engineers closely monitor the positioning system, depth, and ocean currents. This valuable information will determine the success of each net drop. For outsiders, fishing may just be pulling in the net, collecting the fish, and bringing them back. But for those in the profession, it is an art, where understanding of the ocean, machine operation techniques, coordination, and decades of experience must blend together to create the highest efficiency. And the American fishermen here are proving to the world that, no matter how vast and harsh the ocean is, humans can still conquer and exploit it in a sustainable, scientific, and effective way, as the ship gradually entered the predetermined deep sea area. Where the radar signal showed a dense density of catfish, the entire crew was immediately alerted. The internal loudspeaker system sounded like a familiar command for a large-scale fishing campaign. Everyone quickly returned to their positions. No one hesitated. No one was lazy. On deck, the veteran netters began to check the strength of the towline, the net anchor points, making sure everything was ready for battle. The net system used here is not the usual net but a giant bottom trawl, hundreds of meters long and specially designed to operate effectively under the great pressure of the deep sea. The top of the net is attached with metal plates called net wings, helping the net to expand to its maximum when pulled underwater. Behind is the net bag, where the fish are herded, with extremely high durability, able to hold tons of fish without tearing. The command to drop the net was given from the control room. The automatic netting machine started working. A series of giant pulleys rotated evenly, pulling the giant net down to the sea. The whole ship shook slightly with each jerk of the machine, as if it was in unison with the crew in this determined battle. Underwater cameras and sound sensors continuously transmitted data, net depth, pulling speed, direction of movement, and especially the amount of fish gathering in the net bag. In that moment, one could clearly feel something very sacred, the absolute harmony between man and machine. Between intelligence and technology, people with tanned skin, hands roughened by the salty wind, were controlling the most modern machines on the sea, a combination that increased fishing efficiency many times over while still ensuring safety and sustainability. After a few dozen minutes of pulling the net, when the sensor signaled that it had reached the optimal load, the captain gave the command to pull the net, and at this moment, the entire ship came alive as a giant body began to operate at full capacity. The net reeling machine rumbled. The ropes were pulled taut like a violin string. Water splashed on both sides of the ship as the giant net was pulled up from the deep sea. Slowly, each large mackerel began to appear, thrashing about in the net like silver creatures awakened by the sunlight. The net was like a living treasure rising from the ocean floor. Each giant block of fish was poured onto the deck, creating silver waves shimmering under the sunlight. The sound of fish hitting the deck resounded like a war drum. Mixed with the cheers of the sailors, it was a symphony of the sea and people. But the work did not stop there. As soon as the fish were collected, the sorting and processing process was immediately deployed. On deck, automatic conveyor belts worked tirelessly. The fish were transferred to the cleaning area, then passed through a sorting machine based on size. Qualified fish are sent directly to the -40°C deep freezing system, a closed chain that ensures the fish are always as fresh as when they were alive. Smaller, substandard fish are processed separately to be put into processed products. The technology on board does not stop at the machinery for catching and preserving. The ship's central control system, which is considered the brain, is the most modern place. Here, American marine engineers monitor all operations remotely, from the ship's speed. Fish position, information about ocean currents, wind, pressure, to even satellite data on weather changes. Thanks to that, fishing decisions are always made accurately and promptly, minimizing risks while optimizing the yield. And among all those modern operations, what we admire most is still the people, the enthusiastic, optimistic and united American fishermen. Despite the hard work and harsh working environment, they always keep a smile on their faces every time they pull in a big catch. Laughter and chatter resound throughout the ship. They are not only colleagues, but also brothers, living together, working together, sharing every moment at sea. Some have been in the profession for more than 30 years. Some have only entered the profession for a few seasons. But when on board, everyone is equal, regardless of age or background. There is only one standard: courage and responsibility. This creates a rare strength of solidarity, helping them overcome all difficulties, from winter storms to seemingly endless calm sea days. As soon as the fish are brought aboard, the work continues without stopping. In the processing bay, which is likened to a miniature mobile factory in the middle of the ocean, workers work busily amid the rumbling of machinery and the strong smell of the sea. Here, the fish are put into a modern processing line, from cleaning, removing organs, cutting fillets, to packaging and freezing, all taking place in a closed, fast and scientific manner. One of the outstanding features of the U.S. fishing industry is the ability to process fish right on board with quality that almost meets the standards of factories on land. Thanks to that, the caught fish always retain maximum freshness, without decomposing or losing nutrients during the transportation to the mainland. This is especially important, especially for fish with high export value such as fish, cod or herring, products that are popular in the international market. Fishermen work tirelessly, under the bright white light. Nimble hands glide over the fish, cutting each fillet smoothly and neatly. The products are neatly arranged on stainless steel trays, then put into the deep freezing system in less than 30 minutes from the time of catching. No one complains, because they understand, each well-processed fish is a source of income. The trust of customers. The honor of the traditional fishing profession. However, the sea is not always as gentle as a peaceful morning. There are days when nature's anger suddenly strikes, causing the whole ship to shake. The sky is gray. The waves roar as if wanting to swallow everything. Waves higher than the roof of the ship crash loudly against the side. Water floods the deck, cold and full of pressure. In that moment, people seem to become small in the vast ocean. But it is in those difficult times that the bravery and steel spirit of American fishermen are truly shown most clearly. They did not panic. They did not give up. Each person took their place, re-strapped the net, tied the equipment, reinforced the deck parts to avoid damage. Some were soaked, shivering from the cold, but still held the steering wheel tightly, continued to observe the radar, kept the whole team safe. A storm can last for hours, sometimes all day, but it will pass. When the sun rises again, shining the first rays of sunlight on the still rippling sea. The whole ship seems to be revived. And in that very moment, smiles appear again, eyes full of hope, as if nature has just tested to further hone the mettle of the children of the sea. That courage, that spirit of solidarity not only helps them overcome danger, but also serves as the